Well, good morning. Welcome to Coffee with the Pastor. Today we're in Genesis 25. We're kind of wrapping up Abraham's life and Ishmael. And we'll be going to the children of the promise, the patriarchs that God had promised Abraham the blessings of. And we'll be looking at Isaac and his family moving forward through the rest of Genesis. After Sarah's death, Abraham remarries, and he remarries a woman by the name of Keturah. She has 6 sons. Midian was one who remember the Midianites, but he has that family go east of the Canaan or the Promised Land. He doesn't want them intermixing with Isaac and his group, and so they go that way. And then the Bible records that Abraham dies when he's 175. And it talks about that Isaac and Ishmael buried him there in the field he bought from Ephron, there by Hebron in today's modern time. And they jointly go and bury him. And then the text goes to Ishmael, and he has several sons or several nations, and they settle more towards Egypt down in the wilderness of Shur. We realize that's where Abimelech was, and Abimelech's going to show up again here in the next chapter or so. And he dies at the age of 137. But then we look at the count beginning with Isaac. And Isaac marries when he's 40 years old, and he doesn't have children for a while. And so he prays. That's a good thing to do. And he prays, and he asks that Rebekah have children. And Rebekah becomes with child. But during her pregnancy, she can just tell the kids are jostling and all, and of course she wouldn't, technology there wouldn't know that she had twins. But she prays, and she asks the Lord why it was so bad. This is what he said in verse 23. The Lord said to her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples from within you will be separated. One people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger. So she's told, you've got twin boys, and they're 2 nations. They're going to both be great, but they're tussling. And she is told that the older one will serve the younger one. Of course, we'll realize that would be Esau and Jacob. A little later, when we study about Rebekah and we realize he tricks Isaac to get Jacob the blessing, remember this passage. God had revealed to her that the promised blessing was going to go through Jacob, not through Esau. So maybe she may be just a little bit more in tune with God and God's will than maybe Isaac was. Now, the boys grew up, Esau and Jacob, and the birth was very interesting. Esau comes out, but Jacob is clutching at his heels. In fact, the word Jacob means heel clutcher. So he had clutched his heels, and he came out. They grew up. Esau liked the outdoors, became a hunter, enjoyed that. And because Isaac liked wild game and all, he preferred Esau. Jacob hung around the tents more, around with Mama, became a mama's boy, and Rebekah preferred him. One day is very interesting, and this is another thing that we need to keep in mind later. This is verse 29. Once when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau came in from the open country, famished. He said to Jacob, quick, let me have some of that red stew. I'm famished. That is why he was also called Edom. Jacob replied, first sell me your birthright. Look, I'm about to die, Esau said. What good is the birthright to me? But Jacob said, swear to me first. So he swore an oath to him, selling his birthright to Jacob. Now, Esau is going to sell Jacob his birthright for a bowl of soup, for a bowl of stew. And again, when the blessing comes from Isaac, understand Esau's already given it to Jacob. He's already sold it to him. And the thing that I think is kind of interesting, Esau, apparently the birthright really wasn't a big deal to him. It was a big deal to Jacob. So I think that we can look and see how important it is to understand, because a lot of times I think we get real aggravated later when the blessing is stolen, supposedly. It wasn't stolen. Esau sold it to him. Sold it to him for a bowl of soup, basically. Rebekah had been told that the promise is going to go through the younger one, not the older one. The younger one's going to be stronger than the older one. So keep those in mind as we read further on, and as we continue on in this study. Hope you have a blessed day, and I hope you stay well, and I'll see you tomorrow.